can't fake courage. If you fake bravery when you're terrified, that is bravery. I kind of feel like motivation is the same thing. If you do the thing when you're feeling unmotivated, that is motivation.
That's it.
Hi guys, welcome back to brand new tutorial. In this video, we're going to learn how to create trending talking head reels. Even if you're a beginner, don't worry. I've explained each and every step in detail and also the logic behind it. So make sure to watch the video till the end. Let's get started. So coming over here in After Effects, firstly, we'll create a new composition. So click over here. Let's call our scene as main. In the custom, we're going to choose 1080 by 1920. Everything else can remain the same and just press on OK. Perfect. I have provided you all the resources in the description. If you want to follow along, make sure to download them. Firstly, let's drag the clip to our timeline. In order to reduce the size, we need to press on S. This will open up the scale property. Right now it's too big, so we'll do one thing. Let's keep it at 50%. Perfect. Next, let's add the audio as well. I will just simply drag and drop it over here. Perfect. Let me play this. Perfect. Now let's start building our scene one by one. Let's have a quick look at our first scene. So firstly, you have this text coming in. It's like this. You can't fake. Next, we have our first animation. This giant and this boy. And then we transition to our next animation. Let's create till this point. So over here, at the start, I will simply add the text. You can't fake. Let's start by adding the text. Go over here to the top. Over here, you will find our text tool. Just click on this. Coming over here, let's click once. See, right now the size is too big. Over here in the text, let's decrease the size. Let's write U. Let's increase the size a bit. Let's press on V. This will again bring back our selection tool. So clicking on this, let's place it over here. Next we have other two text. You can't fake. Let's add that as well. Press on Command D. This will take a duplicate of this. Let's place it above over here. I'm going to write can't. From over here, we can change the color. So click on this and choose white. Again from the text, let's decrease the size. Perfect. Let's type one more copy of this again by pressing Command and D. Let's drag this down. Okay. Let's write fake. Okay. Nice. So you can't fake. Okay. So now let's start animating it one by one. See, at the beginning, this text is blurred. And then by the time it comes to its resting position, you can see it properly. Let's create that. Okay. So take your player to the start. Let's zoom in a bit. Click on our layer. Press on P. Add a keyframe over here. Going a little ahead, maybe at this point. Add one more keyframe. This will become our final position. Now going back to the first keyframe. See, from these pointers, you can go to left or to the right. This way we have come back to our first keyframe. So at this point, let's drag this down. See, like this. Okay. So let's see. So it will come up this way. Okay. Next, in order to make it blur, we need to add Gaussian blur on top of this. So for that, ensure that the layer is selected. Search for Gaussian blur. Over here in the top, let's fade this. Let me do one thing. Let me hide this for now. You see, this is faded. So coming over here, let's add a keyframe. So at the start, it will be 19.4 or let's keep it as 20. Okay. Now if we take the player ahead at this position, we have to keep it back to 0. Just make it 0 like this. Let's see. Let me zoom in. Okay. Let's drag it a little ahead. Let's play this. See, it's coming up nicely, but it's too linear. To give it that smooth motion, let's ease our keyframes. For that, you can select both these keyframes. You can right click. You see over here, we have keyframe assistant. All you need to do is press on ease. The other way is simply press the shortcut F9. That's it. Let's have a look at the animation. See, it's happening in a much smoother way now, right? See, maybe if you want, you can drag this little ahead. But be mindful that we have to also drag our blur keyframe along with this. So again, clicking on this, just press on U. This will open up the keyframe that we have added on the blur. So just take this keyframe and drag it just above this. Let's see. Nice. Okay. Next we have the word can't. Let's trim it. Let me see. Okay. Let's keep it over here. Let me see this. See, this is coming and then you have the word can't just above it. In fact, we can do it this way. We'll increase the size and keep the word can't just above you. Let's click on this. Increase the size. Okay. Let's click on this. Let's keep it this way. You can't fake. Okay. You can't fake. Next, we have the word fake. Let's see over here. See, it again comes from the bottom like this. We'll do one thing. These two keyframes that we added, right? Simply copy them. Pressing Command C. Going over here, at this point, simply paste it. Let's also enable that there. Let me see this. Okay, it's coming on top of this, which is fine. Now based on U, see this position. At this point, let's drag this down over here. Coming to the first one, let's keep it like this. Okay, let's have a quick look. Okay, You can't. Nice. Okay. See, at the beginning, we also don't want to show this text. See this fake. So for that, we can do simple thing. Clicking on this, press on T. This will open up our opacity parameter. So let's add a keyframe over here. Going back at this point, let's make this as 0. Okay. Let's see. No, maybe little ahead. Let's keep it like this. So when it's coming up, right, at that time, we want to make this visible. So we can even drag this ahead a little. And let's see. Nice. Okay, perfect. This way we have completed our text animation. Let's have a quick look. Nice. Okay, but now we don't have to worry about this at all. So selecting all the layers, just press on U. And again press on U. This will close all of them. Okay, you can't fake. Nice. Perfect. Now let's have a look at our next scene. You can't fake. Next, courage. See, we have this boy, the giant, and we also have a background. So if you have this scene, we have 4 elements. We have the text, we have the giant, we have the little boy, and we also have this background. Let's start by creating the background. So for the background, we'll need to add a solid. So for that, go over here in the top, in our shape layers, select a rectangle tool. Okay, now coming over here, let's simply add a rectangle like this. Okay, just ensure that it covers your entire canvas. Now coming to the top, over here in the fill, you have to choose a gradient. Just press on OK. Right now it's looking weird, but don't worry. Just click over here. You have to play around with these colors. Okay, the left one can be white. Okay, and then for this one, let's keep it a gray tone like this. Perfect. Even now it's looking quite weird. But again, just press on V. Once you press on V, you see these 2 pointers? See. All you need to do is simply drag them. See like this. Okay. I think we have chosen the linear gradient. We'll do one thing. Again, click back over here. And this time we'll choose the radial gradient. Just press on OK. Let's bring this over here. Perfect. This way, if you observe, we have created a similar gradient like the one which you see over here. So this one is quite dark, but I don't really like that. I'm happy with this one. If you want this to be dark, all you need to do is go over here and see. On this one, just choose a darker shade. See like this. Okay. For now, we'll choose this and just press on OK. Perfect. We'll call this as the background. Let's close this. Also, we need to trim it. Let me hear the audio. Okay, somewhere over here, let's trim it. So for trimming the layer, you need to select the layer first and click on Option and the left side bracket. Okay. Nice. Perfect. Our background is ready. Now let's start placing our elements. Firstly, going over here, we have the giant. Let's drag it to a timeline. Here's an S. Scale this down. Okay, we'll keep him over here. Nice. I don't really want to keep this color. We'll add a tint on top of that. So selecting this layer, just search for tint. And then just click on it. Perfect. I like this color. Again, going back, let's add the little boy. Just drag and drop it over here. Press on S again. This will bring up our scale property. Let's make this small. Okay, we'll keep him over here. Maybe a little bigger. Perfect. Let's again add a tint on top of this layer. Nice. Now if you observe a scene, they have added a blue line over here. And on the bottom of the giant, they have added a simple shadow. But I don't really like that. I want to show you something interesting. I will show you how to add a realistic shadow. So for that, let me show you how to do that. For the boy, simply press on Command D. Okay, this way you are taking a duplicate of this. Now on that, we'll need to add the fill effect. Just search for fill, just press on it. Okay, going over here, just click once and let's make it a grayish tone. Maybe a little darker, like a shadow. Perfect. Now we have to blur this. But before that, let's place it horizontally on the ground. So in order to give it a shadow effect, we'll need to add an effect called as corner pin. Search for corner pin. Okay, this one. In corner pin, you have these 4 pointers. Okay, you see these 4 corners? Let me in fact zoom in. I'm sure you won't see it right now. Let me do one thing. Let me select this first one and click here once. Okay. So the pin which was over here, which is the upper left, it came over here. All the other pins are upper right, lower left and lower right are still on their respective places. See, this one, and this one. Okay, this one is fine. Next, let's click over here. Let's again keep it like this. Perfect. Next, this one, we need to bring it here, or in fact, we can do one thing. This one, let's bring it under the boy. This one, let's keep it like this. This one as well, over here. Okay, let's click here for lower left. Let's keep it under the leg. So you'll need to play around it a bit, but don't worry, you'll get it in few tries. Perfect. Once you're happy with the shadow, simply keep this layer under the boy. Okay. Now on top of this layer, all you have to do is add the blur. You have 2 options. Firstly, you can add the Gaussian blur or you can also add the fastfox blur. In this case, let me just go with the Gaussian blur. So coming over here, simply increase the blurriness. It's like this. Let me zoom in a bit. Perfect. This gives you a nice realistic shadow, right? I hope this is clear. So coming over here, later on we are going to animate this. So for that, in order to ensure that the shadow moves along with the boy, we'll parent this shadow. In fact, we'll do one thing. Let's call this as the little boy shadow. We'll parent this shadow to this boy. See, like this. Perfect. Next, I'm going to repeat the exact same thing for the giant. Perfect. Once our shadow is ready, again similar to our boy, let's parent this, taking this pickwick and connect it to our giant. Nice. Now between them, we have to add the word courage. So firstly, let's select all the layers, press on U twice. Nice. Okay. Now let's add the word. Again going to the top, select our text layer. Coming over here, click once. Let's decrease the size. Let's add the word courage. C-O-U-R-A-G-E. Okay. Let's increase the size a bit. Go to our selection tool. Let's place it over here. Okay, we have to place it under the mode. Okay, somewhere over here. Let's increase the size a bit. Perfect. See, our scene is pretty much ready. This blurriness that you can see over here, we'll add that in a minute. Don't worry about it. Going over here, let's make it fit. Nice. Perfect. Let's have a quick look from the beginning. Okay, we'll need to do some cleanups. See, at this point, this boy is going to come from the left, so we don't really have to worry about it. But this giant, right, we are just going to blur it and then unblur it. So we have to ensure that the giant line is cut before this point. So let's coming over here, let's select these two layers and let's trim it. So again, press the option and the left square bracket. Don't forget it, right? Let me see. Okay, perfect. Now let's start with the animation of this scene. Firstly, let me teach you how to do text animation. Let's open this. Over here, it's a simple button called as animate. Just click on this. Over here, let's add two parameters. Firstly, we'll add opacity and then we are going to add the position. Let's add opacity. Going over here again, in add, in properties, let's select position. Nice. Now let's go to our range selector. Over here, we have to add keyframes in the offset. So add a keyframe over here. Going a little ahead, maybe at this point, let's make this as 100%. See, these keyframes that we're adding over here, don't worry about it. If later on we feel it is too fast, we'll just play around with it in our timeline. So coming back to our first keyframe, at this point, we have to keep it as -100. Now open up our advanced, scroll down, you see the shape. Over here, we have to choose as wrap. Nice. And then the position parameter that we have added. As we want this to come from the bottom, see, if you want it to come from left or the right, we have to play around with the x-axis. Right now, as we want it to come from the bottom, see, as this is coming from the bottom, right? One by one, the letters are coming in courage. In order to do something similar, we have to increase our y-axis. So let's keep it maybe 120 for now. Perfect. Okay, and lastly, we have to do one more thing. This opacity that we see over here, just make this as 0. Let me see now. Okay, it's coming up, but we'll need to do one thing. This position is too less. Let's increase this all the way. Maybe let's keep it around 350. Reply this. I think this is happening too fast, so let's select this and keep it over here. Let me see. Nice. Courage. Maybe we'll keep it over here. Okay, let's have a look. I think this is happening too fast. We'll do one thing. Let's keep it a little earlier. Let's see. Okay, we'll keep it over here. Now selecting both the keyframes, we'll press on F9. This will add an ease motion. Let's see. Spicy hurt. Perfect. Now let's animate the boy. Let's close this. Firstly, at this position, somewhere over here, the boy will be at this position. So let's press on P, add a keyframe, maybe at this point. Let's drag him all the way to the left, like this. Again, selecting both the keyframes, press on F9, and let's see. Nice. Next, we are going to do something similar for the giant. Let's click on giant. This time, let's press on S. Add a keyframe. Go to the first one. At this point, let's decrease the size a bit. Okay, let's see. Nice. Also, if you see over here, when you're transitioning from scene 1 to scene 2, that is blur effect. See, either you can add blur effect one by one on these layers, or I will show you one easier way. Just right click over here, go to new and add an adjustment layer. So usually when you add this adjustment layer, you have to keep it at the top, because whatever changes that you do or any effect that you add on this adjustment layer applies to all the layers which are below it. So for example, if you keep it over here, and then whatever changes that you do will only apply to these two layers. Let's keep it over here. And now let's add the Gaussian blur on top of it. Perfect. let's see, from here till here we have to add the blur. So let's add a keyframe in blurriness. Let's go ahead, maybe somewhere over here. Let's increase this all the way to maybe around 40, 50. Okay. And then again here at this point, let's make this as 0. Perfect. Let me see this.
Safe note.
Let's press on U. Let's see the keyframe that we added. Okay. You can keep this over here. Let me see.
Space or E.
Okay. Nice. Let's close all the layers. Let's have a quick look. You can't fake courage. Nice. Let's see what we'll do next. Next, again, in our next scene, we have this transition from here till here. A strip which goes from right to left, and then the statue comes from the bottom. Let's firstly place our elements and then we'll animate it. If we go back, firstly at this point,
Easy set.
see, firstly at this point, this one is blurring out and going out of scene. Let's create that. It's very easy. We'll do one thing. Let's select all these layers. If we don't really need them separate anymore, keep the background layer as it is. Right click over here and create a pre-composition. See, in the pre-composition, ideally we are just combining the layers. So we'll just call this as maybe scene 2, right? Ensure that you move all the attributes in a new composition. See, when you select this option, all the effects that you added on these layers are also moved to this pre-composition. Just press OK. Nice. Let's see. Perfect. See, at this point, we have to ideally cut this. So we'll do one thing. Just press on T. Add a keyframe opacity. Going little ahead at this point, let's decrease the opacity to 0. Let's see. Nice.
Easy set.
Perfect. Also, we'll do one thing. You see over here, again, see again, they have added that bloodiness. So we can do the same as well. We'll do it later. Firstly, let's place our next scene. So once this vanishes, let's start adding our next elements. So over here, we have this strip. To add that, you can go over here to top and select our pen tool. Ensure that no layer is selected. Just zoom out a bit. Let's see. Let's make a point over here. Okay, no. Right now, see it be selected. Let's click out. Click once over here and then click another point over here. Okay. Right now we have a fill. So click on this. Ensure that the fill is none. Let's press on OK. And let's increase our stroke like this. Okay. Let's keep it the same color what we added over here. So we'll do one thing. Let's go down. Let's select this. Okay. This is the color, right? Let's copy this color by pressing Command C. Press OK. Let's go to the top. This one, right? So again go over here in the stroke. You see this red? Over here in this field, just paste it. That's it. Nice. We'll call this as the blue stroke. I can't really think of any other name for now. Okay. Nice. Let's go over here. Where was it starting? Okay. Over here. Next, we have to place the statue. Let's add the statue over here. Press on S. Scale this up a bit. Okay. Nice. Perfect. And then we have some text. If you fake, right? If you fake bravery. Okay, let me quickly add the text. If you fake. Next, let's add the word bravery over here. Bravery. Let's increase the font size from over here and let's place it behind the statue. Okay. Press on V. Go back to selection tool. Let's place it like this. Let me see. Yeah, looks kind of cool. Perfect. Our scene is ready. Now let's start animating it. Firstly, we'll start with the blue line. So click on this blue stroke. Open this up. Go to add and click on trim paths. Let's go down. See, in trim paths, you have the start, end and the offset property. You have to just play around with the end. See, if I decrease this, you see the stroke is also decreasing. See, that is what we are going to do. So at the beginning, we are going to keep it at 0. Add a keyframe over here. Let me see. Okay. Then at this point, let's make this as 100%.
Say 3.
Nice. See, we can do one more thing. Right now, if you see, this is straight. It doesn't really look that nice, right? So we can do one thing. So we can come over here in stroke. You see this taper? Just open this. See this end length, you can just taper it a bit. See something like this. Okay. This way you'll have a arrow-like structure. See, it looks much better than the rectangle.
If you say 3.
Nice. Okay. Let's close this. Perfect. Now let's animate the statue. Let's see at what point it will come up. Okay. Maybe somewhere at 2 seconds it will be in our scene. So we'll do one thing. Let's press on P. We have to add keyframes, but we'll only add keyframes in the y-axis because it's only going to come from the bottom. So right click over here and click on separate dimensions. Add a keyframe over here. Let's go ahead. Add another keyframe. Going back at this point, let's drag him out. Okay, completely like this. Let me see.
Say 3.
Okay, it's coming too fast. Let's keep it somewhere over here.
Say 3.
Okay, let's do one thing. Now selecting this layer, go to our graph editor. Over here right now, this is straight. So it's going back, select both the keyframes and press on F9. This will add an easy motion. Now again go back to our graph editor. Let's see.
Say 3. bravery one.
Nice. But we'll do one thing. In order to smoothen the motion, let's select this pointer and drag it to left like this. Let's see.
Set brave.
Nice. Now let's animate the text.
Easy set.
Okay, if you. Okay, so firstly we'll do one thing. For this, right, scene 2, let's press on U. This needs to come little earlier. Okay. Next, this if you should start here. So we'll just cut the layer at this point. Let's do one thing. For this, we'll just play around with the opacity. Press on T, add a keyframe over here. Going a little ahead. Add other one. Going to the first one. Let's make this at 0. Let's see if you fake, right? Let me see.
Easy set brave.
No, little earlier. If you. Actually, it's not looking nice because I want this word to come one by one. For this, we'll add a simple animation. Let's open this. Go to animate and let's add the opacity parameter. Make this as 0. Open our edge vector. Add a keyframe and offset. Going ahead, let's make this at 100%. Open our advanced over here. In based on the list of characters, just choose words. If you. Nice.
Set brave. Set brave.
If. Okay, if is coming over here. So let's see. Okay, this one is over here. Let's see. For this statue, right? Where is the statue? Yeah, this one. Let's zoom out a bit. So this needs to come a little earlier.
Easy set brave.
Perfect. I think the word brave is coming all of a sudden, right? So it's coming along with this statue, like this. So we'll do one thing. We'll just parent this to the statue. Okay. And then on this, press on T, add a keyframe opacity. With somewhere over here when the statue is coming up. At this point, let's make this at 0. Okay, let's see. Nice. No, not really. We'll do here and then here. Nice. Let's see.
Set bravery. Set bravery.
Perfect. Now we just have to do one thing. See, when this transition was happening, again we have to add the blur effect. So where is the adjustment layer? See this one. Again it went down. Let's take it to the top. Press on U. See, this was coming here. Let's again go over here. Blurriness. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's add a keyframe over here. Going ahead, maybe at this point, maybe a little here. Let's again increase this. So this is blurred. Again, it comes up. Let's decrease it. Nice. Let me see.
Easy set bravery.
Perfect. If you fake, see like
Set bravery one.
nice. See, there is one more thing. If you see over here, there is shadow to the statue. If you want to add that, simply click on the statue, right click over here, go to layer styles and add the drop shadow. Open this up. Over here, see, we have to play around with the distance and the size. So firstly, let's increase the distance. See like this. And in the size, let's make it blur. See this way.
Brilliant.
Perfect. Let's have a quick look at what we have created till this point.
Easy set bravery one is out.
Nice. See, I know it's taking time, but we are learning very important concepts which will build your confidence and skills for the next level. Perfect. Now let's have a look at our scene 4. In this, see our scene 4 emerges like an ink drop. See like this. Again it goes out and then we have a scene 5. See like this. Perfect. After this scene, right, it's very easy. It's just talking head and then we have some simple clips. It will take 5 minutes for that. Now the important pieces pending are just our scene 4 and our scene 5. Let's create that. If you're here till this point and getting some value, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I keep posting reels like this every alternate days. So you'll get instant values, this is my promise. So let's start creating our scene 4. Our scene 4 and scene 5 are very simple. Let's have a quick look at our scene 4. So in our scene 4, so over here, we have this ink drop, see increasing in size like this. And where is person falling in from inside the drop. Let's create this scene together. First, let me show you how to create this ink drop. It's very simple. Let's do one thing. Let's close all the layers. Going to the top. Now select our ellipse tool. Ensure that no layer is selected. Coming over here, let's create a circle like this. Make sure that you're holding one shift. That way, you'll get a perfect circle. Now going to the top again. Keep this as 0. In the field, let's add a solid color and then keep the color as blank. Okay, I'm just going to name this as the ink drop. Press on V. Let's keep it over here. In fact, let's press on S. Let's scale this up. Okay, you can keep it big like this. Nice. Now on top of this, we have to add turbulent displays. So let's just search for that. Perfect. Instead of turbulent displays, in complexity, let's make this as 10. Next, in the size, let's increase it a bit. Maybe around 130, 140. And in the amount, let's see how much. Okay, we can just keep it 65, 70. Again, it's not exact science. You can just play around with these numbers to find something which is perfect for you. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so see at the beginning, at this point, let me hear the audio. See when you are terrified. See at this point we are going to increase the size. So again selecting on this, press on S. This will open our scale property. Click over here, going a little ahead, add a keyframe. Going to the first one, let's make this as 0. See, nice, right? This way you got a beautiful ink drop. Let me see.
One time.
Nice. And then again at this point we are going to take it out of the screen. So we'll again go over here and make this as 0. Let's see.
One entire font.
This is too fast. We'll do one thing. Let's keep this over here and this one over here. Let me see.
One entire font.
Okay, we'll need to do one thing. See, we'll need a little lag. See, at this point, this was 165, right? So let's copy this keyframe. At this point, we'll need to paste it again. Okay, let's see. Nice.
One entire font.
See, now if you observe over here as well, the same thing was happening. See, we had this expansion and then again it was going out of the screen. See, like this. Okay. Similarly, we had this expansion over here. We'll wait for a second and then we'll take it out of the screen. Perfect. Now let's start adding these elements when you're terrified and this person. So firstly, going over here, let's add the falling person. Let's keep it to the top. See, we have to make sure that this person comes from inside this ink drop. So for that, we have to simply trackmate this layer to our ink drop. So take this pick and connect it to our ink drop. As we did this, the ink drop vanished. In order to bring it back, simply enable the visibility. Perfect. See, nice, right? Okay, let's keep the person over here. In fact, we can do one more thing. We can parent this layer to the ink drop as well. Because you see over here, we are playing around with the scale. See, at the beginning, this person was smaller in size and then it increases. To do something similar, we will parent this. That way, if you see over here, see even the person is increasing in size. Okay. See, later on we'll add keyframes. That way, we get a look as if the person is falling. For now, we have simply parented it. Let's add the rest of the elements. See over here. See, we have this blue color. So we'll just go over here, go to rectangle tool. And just simply add a rectangle over here. Okay. In fact, we can do one thing. We can select our pen tool. Coming over here, let's create a proper shape. Perfect. Now going to the top in the fill, let's select our gradient. Let's go back. Let's choose the blue color shades. Not this one. Okay, maybe this one. Over here as well. Okay, maybe a darker shade like this. Perfect. Now coming to our shape, just press on B. You can double click on this. See, you have to keep it this way, like a nice gradient. Okay, let's keep this under the person. This way we have created a similar shape like the one that you see over here. We can play around with this. Nice. Again, we'll do one thing. Let's parent it to our ink drop. Let's see. See, we'll need to do one small animation later on. But before that, let's add a text as well. So we have a text when you are terrified. Let me add that text quickly. Perfect. Let's see.
One entire font.
See, when you are terrified. Let me see the text animation over here. So text is coming from the bottom. Okay. So firstly, we'll do one thing. See, firstly, we'll connect this text to our ink drop and later on, we'll animate it. Select both these layers. Let's connect it to our ink drop. Perfect. Now let's animate this text. Firstly, going over here. This is the exact same animation like the one which you saw earlier. See this one for courage. See this one. So we can do one thing. We can go in fact inside this. See over here. Let's open this text. See, we already have this animation over here. Simply copy this. Go back. Terrified, right? Let's go at this point. Let me go ahead. Okay, let's see. Maybe at this point, let's paste it. Let me see. No, we'll need to do one thing. Press on U. Let's keep this keyframe over here and this one over here. See? Nice. Terrified. Lastly, we have to give it a notion as if this person is falling down. So for it, we'll do one thing. This text, terrified, can remain the same. While this, when you are right, at this point, let's trim it. Okay. So when you're, will come like this. Nice. When you're is fine. Even terrified is fine. This one, in order to get a falling motion, let's select the person and we have this shape layer, right? So we can do one thing. See, for the person itself, see, we can parent this shape layer to this person. See, anyways, the person is linked to the ink drop. So nothing will ideally change. Yeah, correct, as we thought. So we'll do one thing now. Now we'll just animate this person. So let's click on P. See, at the beginning, we'll keep it little up. So let's say at this point, let's add a keyframe going ahead. At this point, it can be over here. But before that, we need to drag this up, all the way up. I know we can't really see it now. Let me see. Okay, it's looking quite weird. We did not mat this to the ink drop. We need to add this track mat. Perfect. This way it's fine. See, this way now we can try this more out like this. Let me see now. Perfect. This is looking awesome, right? Okay, this is happening too fast. Let's drag it a little ahead. And you're terrified, and then it's terrified. Perfect. Now in order to ensure that this drop is smooth, let's simply select this key press and press on F9. Perfect. Let me see now.
Everyone is terrified.
Nice. Perfect. Now exactly similar to how we had created in our scene 1 and scene 2, let's also play around with the Gaussian blur in our adjustment layer. Let's again drag our adjustment layer to the top. Press on U. See, okay, see when this was coming in. Let's add a keyframe. Going ahead at this point, let's increase the blurriness. This point, let's decrease it like this. Let me see. Okay, we can keep it this way. Terrified. Nice. Perfect. Let's see our scene 4.
Everyone is terrified. That is brave.
Nice. Perfect. This way we have completed our scene 4. Let's have a quick look at our scene 5. So for that, we have the word that is bravery. See like this. Let's see over here. That is bravery. Yeah. So we'll do one thing. Ink drop, right? It should end somewhere over here. Okay. So let's again select all the words, all the layers. Press on U. Close it. Let's add the text. That is. That. Let's increase the size completely like this. Let's keep it as black. Perfect. Let's take it in the middle and keep it on his body over here. Let me see. Okay, somewhere over here that should come. So let's trim it. So press on option and then let's curve back it again. You see? Nice. That. Let's take a copy of this by pressing on Command D. Let's drag this down. Let's write is. Perfect. Let's keep it like this. Perfect. See, that is. Perfect. Now let's see what we are doing in our scene 5. At this point, we are going to zoom in on our statue. See, we are zooming in like this. And then we have a match cut effect. Okay, let's create that. So firstly, let's go to a statue. Where is the statue? Yeah, this one. Press on U. Let's say, let me hear this. Okay, so from this point, okay, in fact, we have to press on S, add a keyframe in scale. From here till here, we have to increase the size. Okay, maybe something like this. Let me see where we have the word bravery.
Is brave.
Okay, the bravery word is going to come at this point. So at the exact same point, we also need to add the match cut. So for the match cut, it's very simple. We'll do one thing. Go to the project. Here, there is warrior and we also have the warrior background. Firstly, let's add the warrior background. Okay, at this point. Perfect. Let's press on S. Let's scale this up like this. We'll do one thing. We don't really need this text anymore. So at this point, let's trim this text. Okay. See, at the point where this will stop, at the exact same point, we need to add the match cut. Okay, we have the background. Let's also add the warrior. Let's place him over here. For a moment, let's keep him on top of our statue. Press on S. Let's scale him up. Again, let's rotate it a bit. Ideally, we have to keep him exactly on top of our warrior. See like this. Nice. This looks good. Perfect. Let's see. Okay. We have to create this match cut effect. So for that, we'll do one thing. Firstly, we'll add the word bravery and later on, we'll combine the layers. Let's select and write over here, bravery. Let's first decrease the size. Let's write bravery. We'll keep it the same blue color. Okay, let's place it over here. In fact, we'll do one thing. Let's increase the size a bit. Okay. Now, exactly similar to the animation that we have added for Terrified, we'll add it for the word bravery. Let's open this up. Select this animator one. Click on bravery. Let me hear where the word comes. Bravery over here. So let's at this point selecting the layer, just paste it. Let me see. Bravery. Nice.
Brave.
Let's do one thing. Let's keep this behind the warrior. In fact, I don't really see it properly over here. We'll do one thing. We'll just keep it little up. Maybe somewhere over here. Okay, this text is still here. We need to cut it. Fake this to here. Maybe somewhere at this point. Let's trim these two layers. Okay. No, in fact, we need to trim them earlier.
He's safe driver by this.
Okay, somewhere over here, we need to trim them. Perfect. Okay, that is brave. Nice. We'll paste the word bravery. This one, right? Press on U. Let's take it a little ahead. Nice. So we'll do now one thing. Let's select this layer, and our warrior background layer. Okay. Let's pre-comp it. Right click and click on pre-composition. We'll just call this as Seal 5. Just press on OK. Nice. This animation is also happening, right? Bravery. Perfect. Now similar to this, all we need to do is simply create a mask. So for that, coming over here, that is bravery. So we'll add a mask. Go to the top, select our pen tool. Let's start creating a mask. Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead. See, at this point, we don't really want that blue stroke. So we can do one thing. See this blue stroke somewhere over here. Let's trim it. Okay. Let me see this. That is bravery. Okay, it should start somewhere over here. Okay. But see, there's one more thing. We'll do it. See this mask, right? See this particular point. Let's keep it like this. This way, we'll see this mode and we get a nice match cut effect. Okay, let's see. That is bravery. Okay, I know the word bravery is not properly visible. We'll need to do one thing. Where is the word? Okay, it's inside. This one. Let's drag it a little down somewhere over here. Okay, let's go back. Perfect. Let's see. That is bravery. Let me see. Is perfect. See the scene 5, we need to flicker it. For that, let me see.
He's brave.
See over here. Let's cut it. Okay, let's take a duplicate of this. Keep it over here. At this point, again trim this. Okay, so here again we will see it. And again then somewhere over here. Let's take one more duplicate. This one. Let's again trim it. Okay, keeping little gap. And then finally at this point, see, we have this flicker. And then for the final flicker, see the word will come in like this, bravery. Perfect. Nice. Let me see. In fact, we'll do one thing. We can keep little more gap between them. Let's see. Perfect. See, after this point, we have him speaking again. So for that, we can simply cut all these layers. Just press on the U. So see, at this point, you can literally select all the layers and just cut it. Perfect. This way, we have completed all our 5 scenes. Let's have a quick look at what we have created till now.
You can't fake courage. If you fake bravery when you're terrified, that is bravery.
Nice. See, after this point, it's quite easy. So if you have a look over here, and after that, there are simple stop videos. See like this, one by one, with some text. So that's it. See this text animation, we have already seen that multiple times till now. So that's it guys for this video. We learned 5 different scenes with different animation styles in this video. I really hope you gained some great value from this tutorial. So if you loved the video and you are new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you next time.